What's up? I'm in the storage unit. It's creepy as shit in here. There's bugs everywhere in this place this time of year. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are here in my storage unit at Public Storage. Beautiful public storage. If you've never been here before, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, turn your notifications on so you'll know if I post more videos. I did mention this before, but I am working a full-time job, so I'm trying to post these videos as often as I can, which who knows how often that's gonna be, but I'm gonna do my best to make as many videos as possible. So anyway, subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you guys know when I post more videos. As you saw in the title and thumbnail, today we're gonna be talking about my 2018 Chevy Colorado ZR2, which may or may not be the best truck that you didn't buy in 2018. Okay, so here's the deal. We're gonna do a little bit of story time quick. So I just got back from my honeymoon in Costa Rica. There's someone in the ocean. Call for help. If you've ever been to Costa Rica, you know that the roads there are a little bit sketchy. And what I mean by that is sometimes you're on pavement, sometimes you're in dirt, sometimes you're in water. It's very unpredictable. There's no stop signs. There's not really any stoplights. Half the people that are there ride motorcycles, so things just get kind of nuts sometimes. So when I showed up there, I rented a 2023 Ford Everest, which is actually a car that doesn't exist in North America. Well, I mean, technically it exists, but they don't sell it in North America. Like, you could get one if you wanted, but they're not here, so they're kind of hard to get. But they're actually a pretty cool car. It's a four-wheel drive diesel, the one that I got. And as soon as I got to Costa Rica, this is what happened.
I'm so stressed.
Are you doing it? Oh my God. Am I in four-wheel drive? Four high, okay. All right, so here's the deal. My wife and I are on our honeymoon in Costa Rica, and apparently there's no roads in Costa Rica. And it's
a river. Pretty
standard practice to just drive through the river. This is a rental car, and I don't have a snorkel.
Oh, we gotta.
Can I make it? You think I can make it across here? Yeah? Which, this way? Straight the way you came. Okay.
Gracias. Maybe put your window up.
Oh my God. We are, holy smokes. This is like.
What in the.
Okay, holy shit. This is just the road. We are not off-roading in Costa Rica. This is just the road. Oh, this is ridiculous. This is not at even remotely close to what I thought this was gonna be. Like, there's just a flatbed in the river.
Are we gonna drive through this river?
Apparently.
Okay,
where else am I supposed to
go? I can hold on. Go. Drops camera in the river.
Oh my God, is that as wide as it goes? Can you see all of this stuff that's happening right now?
To be honest.
I love Costa Rica. Are you kidding me? This is just the way you have to go. Like, what? Oh, Jesus. What does Kanye do when he comes here? Now, the reason that I show you that clip and the reason that I bring it up in general is that I have an off-road truck. Now, off-road trucks in Costa Rica and Central America in general, off-road trucks and cars are much, much different. They're actually seriously built with the off-road in mind. Like here, 90% of people with an off-road car or truck just drive it on the street. But in Costa Rica, you literally have no choice but to be driving it off-road. Like, I had to cross that river just to get to my hotel that was on the coast. So like, you don't have a choice. Most of the cars have snorkels. They build all of their cars with the off-road actually in mind. So I think, generally speaking, the cars in Central America, cars and trucks for the off-road, are dramatically better than they are in the United States. Hot take, maybe, I don't know. I'll list a few off and show some pictures maybe so you know what I'm talking about. They have the Ford Everest, which I have actually seen many, many times on Instagram. They will show like a Raptor conversion of an Everest, and I always just thought it was like some concept Raptor SUV, but it actually exists and you can actually convert them to look like a Raptor. They also have the Toyota Land Cruiser Prado, which is a more off-road centric Land Cruiser. If you've ever watched a Whistling Diesel video, you've probably heard of the Hilux. I thought Hiluxes didn't really exist anymore. If you go to Costa Rica, they are by far one of the most popular trucks on the road. And mid-sized trucks definitely own the road out there. So it's like your Colorado, your Ranger, your Tacoma, the Hilux. You see a lot of those way more than you're gonna see like a Raptor or a TRX or any of the big trucks. And that's kind of by necessity because the roads are so narrow, and a lot of times you're driving through the jungle and through the rainforest, so you have to have sort of a slimmer profile truck to make it through a lot of those places. All right, now let's talk about my 2018 Chevy Colorado ZR2. This may or may not be the best car truck you didn't buy in 2018. This is the Midnight Edition, which just means it's black, it has black wheels, and of course has the black bow tie. So Midnight Edition basically means nothing with the exception of this truck being completely black. And speaking of all black, I know I showed these in the last video, but I'll just show them again in case you didn't watch the last video. So these are my 17x9 Viper Anthem off-road rims. I don't have enough money to buy tires for these yet, which is pretty sad because they're just sitting in here in a pile in the back of my storage unit. But I thought I'd stick with the all black look. I think it looks solid on this truck. So thinking 33s is probably as much as I can fit on this truck. I think you have to put like an inch level in the front, but we'll see. So I'll get the tires mounted on these, and then at some point we'll put them on the truck. But I thought sticking with the all black look made sense because the rest of the truck is black. Wheels are already black. Everything's black. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever seen, it's called dense carbon, forged carbon, and you can get it in a wrap. There's actual forged carbon, but I'm just gonna get forged carbon wrap and put some of that on this truck. It's kind of like a black speckled, it looks really, really cool. But I'm gonna put it on the hood here. I'm gonna put it on the mirror caps. I'm probably gonna put it on the trim. I don't know how well it's gonna last just because rocks are gonna get kicked up at it. And when you put wrap on this stuff, the wrap has a tendency to peel off really fast. But we'll probably put it on and see what happens, and if it starts peeling off, we'll just take it off. This is a mid-size truck, so this is in the same category as like your Ford Ranger, Toyota Tacoma, a Hilux, which we don't have here, but that would be the same class. And in my opinion, these trucks are really, really fun to drive. They're small, they feel a little bit more like a car. Like in a truck, you normally sit with your legs kind of hanging down. This feels a lot more like a cockpit. Your legs kind of stick straight out in front of you, so when you're driving off-road, you feel really, really in control. And I can show you guys the inside in a minute, but you'll get what I'm talking about. When Chevy made this car, they made sure that you knew it was a ZR2. ZR2, 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 ZR2. Chevy made sure that you were not going to mistake this for any other kind of Colorado, which I don't hate. I mean, ZR2, it's nice. And quite frankly, I wouldn't buy a Colorado if it wasn't a ZR2. The other versions of this car are not that great. They make it in a work truck, they make it in an LT, a Z71, and the ZR2, there might be one other in there, but all the other models of this truck are pretty boring. And now I'll kind of walk around and explain to you guys why this truck is so much different than sort of the standard versions of the Colorado and why it makes it so much better. So the ZR2 compared to the work truck or the LT or the Z71, a few major differences here. The ZR2 is lifted 1 inch. I believe it does come with slightly bigger tires. It does have different rims. This is a Midnight Edition, so it does have the black rims. I think these are fine. They're not amazing looking, but they do the trick. When you come over to the front here, if you look at it from this angle, you can see the entire tire. So this is by design. The whole point of this scoop right here is so that you have additional kind of approach angle when you're going vertically up hills. And same thing in the back. That's why it's lifted, so that when you're declining, going down hills, you're not going to hit the bed of the truck. And in this case, you're not going to hit the front of the truck when you're going uphill. But I think it makes for a really aggressive look. You can see the entire tire from the front. This tire is really skinny, and I think it needs to be considerably larger. So when we can afford tires, we're going to put some big fat tires on here. Hopefully we're going to get a little poke out on the side. My rims are -12, so they should come out a hair, and then the tire should hang out a hair over that, so it should look pretty aggressive when it's done. Now, of course, on any sort of prestigious model of any car, they put all sorts of stupid bells and whistles on that don't really make sense, but make it look kind of cool. So this is a sport bar. I'm still trying to figure out what this is for exactly, but it looks cool. I like it. Gives the truck a slightly better profile, I think, from the side, as opposed to when you have it off. It also comes with these lights as an option. They're completely illegal to use when you're on the road. They have these caps on them right now. That's what they look like without the caps on them. They're very, very bright. They do the trick, but like I said, you can't use them on the road. You can only use them when you're off-roading. Kind of a useless upgrade, but if you do a lot of off-roading at night, then you'll be happy you have them. The other thing that's goofy about this truck, but I don't actually hate, the truck bed is really tiny, and I pretty much only ever put my golf clubs back here. One time I did put not a DS450, a YFZ 450 back here. It does fit all the way in. When you close it, the tires come right to the edge of the tailgate and can close. So if you're into quads and stuff, they fit with the tailgate closed. Of course, you can leave the tailgate down and fit a lot more stuff in there. But I think the truck bed is fine. If you do a lot of stuff where you need the truck bed, probably not going to be the truck for you. But if you don't care that much, solid. Now, these are without a doubt the best part of the truck. It's going to be a little hard to see them, but these are the DSSV Multimatic dampeners. When Chevrolet put these on the truck, the idea is that it gives you a really stiff, kind of nice ride when you're on the road, so it makes it a really comfortable commuter daily driver. But at the same time, as soon as you take it off the road, it kind of adjusts to the environment that you're in, and it can be really comfortable off-road as well. Now, moving to the inside of the truck, like I had mentioned earlier, when you're sitting in this truck, it feels a lot different than kind of a full-size truck. This is a lot more intimate, maybe. When you're in a big truck, your legs kind of hang down. There's a ton of room. This truck is very much like a cockpit. It's got a really awesome, comfortable steering wheel. Your legs sit a lot more like they do in a sedan or a sports car. So when you are mobbing off-road, you feel completely in control the entire time. The seat hugs you in here really, really well. I think this is an awesome sort of seating position. When it comes to overall space inside the ZR2, it's not that big, which isn't the end of the world. I'm basically the only person that's ever in this truck. So when I'm driving, I'm really comfortable. I have plenty of room. Like I said, it feels kind of like a cockpit, more like a sports car than it does a pickup truck. But if you're a passenger in this car, if you're in the passenger seat, it's not a problem because you can move it back and there's nobody back there, you're fine. But if you got 5 people in this car, there is next to no room in the back of this. So I pretty much put my golf clubs in the back when it's raining. Like I said, there's no room for anything. You can get a tonneau cover for the truck bed, although I don't know if you can put it on with the sport bar, but you might. So if you are going to get one of these cars, I recommend getting a tonneau cover because there's not going to be room in here. So if you do bring stuff with you all the time, you're going to want to keep it in the truck bed because your backseat rider is not going to be happy. And believe it or not, this is actually one of my favorite parts about the car. The gear selector is in a really amazing spot. Now, when it comes to some of the other functionalities that this car has, obviously you have your traction control button, you have rear and front lockers. So if you are a serious off-road person, this truck is amazing. You can lock both your rear and your front diff. Obviously you got your clicky button so people don't hit you on the highway. Tow mode, hill descent control, and everybody's favorite, the jellyfish launcher. I'm not going to bother turning on the infotainment system just because it's sort of a standard Chevrolet infotainment system. You've got all of your kind of analog knobs, and it is a touchscreen, so you have all your digital stuff as well. Nothing to write home about here. Standard, solid, never really think about it, so that's a good thing. All right, so here's what I was talking about with the gear selector. So when you're just driving, you're just chilling, this is how your hand sits. Also, I don't know if you can hear that squeaking, but I think the brakes get a little squeaky from time to time, and it usually goes away after the first couple of minutes, but it's a little concerning just because I had replaced the brakes like not that long ago. Not bad, not great. Honestly, for a V6 mid-size pickup truck, it doesn't sound horrible. If you're just parked in the street and you go to rev it, it doesn't sound very good, but when it's under load and you're actually driving, the truck sounds solid. An exhaust is the very last thing on my list of things to do, but at some point, I would like to put an exhaust on. All right, now we gotta give this Nissan a little bit of room, but this is everybody's favorite place to accelerate. We are getting on the on-ramp and we're gonna give it one more good go. This is foot to the floor, foot to the floor. And I don't know if you guys can hear that very well through the camera, but it really doesn't sound that bad. And it's, when we're talking about high performance trucks, which this, I don't know if I would classify as a high performance truck. It's a great truck, but when you think about a high performance truck, you're thinking about like the Raptor and the TRX that have these giant motors and huge horsepower. This is a V6 with 308 horsepower. So it's nothing to write home about, but it has enough power. And honestly, if you're off-road, you can't use 800 horsepower anyway. I take that back. You can always use 800 horsepower, but 308 horsepower if you're off-road is plenty. And it's not like you bought this truck to go 0 to 60 in 3 seconds anyway. All right, well, this video has honestly just been kind of practice for me to learn how to make videos of myself making videos about cars. I do honestly, genuinely love cars to the bottom and to the top of my heart. They are my very favorite thing. So I figure that's what I should make videos about. I'm learning as I go here, so go down, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, like, turn your notifications on, do all the stuff that you do on YouTube. I will get better as I go. So stick with me and maybe things will get interesting here. That's it. I gotta pee real bad. I gotta go.